Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Australian offline One Piece regionals here in Melbourne. My name's Umit, I'm joined here by Ryan, of course, and we just had the top 16 match. Zoro taking on Luffy. Spoilers if you're going to watch the VOD and you just tuned in now. Defen. Luffy took that one. Luffy took that one. But coming from Australia's champion from the Treasure Cup. So we kind of... I wouldn't even say we expected it, right? It was a good game. We went to full 3 rounds. Very close. But at that caliber of player that's already won an event. And coming back and doing that, you know, coming into the top 16 now and now top 8. Yeah, no small feat and nothing to take away from the players, but you expect a high level of gameplay. And doing it with Luffy, let alone the other great red leaders that are in the meta right now and shaking it up.
And just showing that these, original starter decks still have some merit as well. Like, we're in set 2 now, and a lot of these set 1 leaders are still running around. We've seen Zoro in the top 8 now. We've seen Luffy. There was some Kid, some Kaido. All these starter decks still just getting the rounds.
Yeah. And we have some bad news, guys. Top 8 is all red. The green got knocked out. The Ivankov got knocked out. I was a bit upset about that. I really would have loved to put that on stream. And also the Kaido got knocked out as well, which I would have loved that on stream too.
Of course, yeah. No one was picking Kaido to even make it into the top 16.
I mean, exactly.
When you were speaking with your friends, the night before, it's Whitebeard, it's Zoro, Kinemon.
When you're testing, right? When you're testing, you go into locals, you're just like, I feel comfortable with this. Zoro has probably one of the greatest all-round matchups to every deck that's in the game right now. And it is such a safe deck to go with, right? You can neg, you can KO, you can play Newgate SR, you can search. You've got many 2Ks that you can add into. Like, it has...
It's quite user-friendly as well.
It is, isn't it? You put one Don under your leader, you get 1K to the board. You're almost never forgetting that trigger, let's be realistic, But we're going to get into what looks like
versus Zoro.
Whitebeard and Zoro. Top 8 match.
And at this point, we're playing for the gold. Where we've secured our serialized Luffy from here. Now we're playing for that number 1 spot.
Playmat is gorgeous, by the way, the navy.
Absolutely.
And knowing that playmat is going to be regional exclusive, so there's probably, after this event, there might be like a maximum of 10 worldwide. Obviously, we have another regional in 2 weeks. So we'll see how that one pans out. But, being some of the exclusive owners of those cards, and I mean, the serialized Luffy in itself is still a great trophy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steven actually flexing the YCS mat. Loves a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Jimmy flexing the waifu mat.
And your nerves get settled a bit more coming into this match. Obviously, you've got the top 16 match, and you know what's at stake on that one. It's the first game of the day. You're tired. You got the nerves and everything.
Yeah.
But now you've settled down a little bit more.
Played your first match.
Exactly.
You got the serialized Luffy.
And here you can kind of settle in and really think about your plays. It's red versus red, so you've got all the time in the world.
Absolutely.
There's really no rush here, so I'm expecting a pretty high level of play.
You say there's no rush, but there's a lot of rush.
Maybe on one side, I'll be interested to see if this is still rocking the boat or if we're seeing some kind of Strawbeard variant from Stefan. I wasn't able to see
the deck list and stuff like that, and the thing is as well, and we kind of spoke about this a bit yesterday, and I think everyone kind of knows as well. When you see Whitebeard drop down, you still don't know what variant it's playing. Is it playing Moby Dick? Is it playing the Straw Hats? Is it just playing the Pirates? Like, there's so many different variables that you can run in this deck. It's never a clear-cut going to do. And Steven actually has to go first. Steven going
first. No, this would be based on their seeding.
Rankings.
So depending on the seeding decides who goes first.
And Steven going first, not being able to do anything with that one Don, but taking the life instantly. I don't think any Whitebeard player wants to go first.
Yeah, probably not. I'd say puts them on a bit more of an even playing field, but
Yep.
you're still a 6k leader, so
True, and then you get to draw an extra card from the life, right? So there is slight advantages, but you still definitely want to go second.
yeah, especially when you're facing down a Zoro, which has
Yeah.
so much rush available and such an easy way to get things up to 6k. When you start looking at like your rush Zoro and your rush Luffy,
Yep.
Inherently just being able to deal damage. And like we said, in the initial top 16 match, if you're Zoro, you need to find a way to answer this Robin because both of those cards can easily just get topped by a Robin attack.
Yep. Yep.
And I think he's aware of it, so he's just going to get the use out of the cards with Makino boosting up the Gordon.
Don under the leader gives it an extra 1k.
Yeah, I believe it's a 7k attack. It must be just 6 if he's...
I think it's 6, right?
Yeah. Oh, Gordon must be 2k,
Yeah, 3k from Makino and then 1 from the leader, but that's still 2 6k swings, and you've still got 3 Don up if you're Jimmy, and getting 2 cards out of Whitebeard's hand or possibly getting them to take their life. You're happy with either result here if you're Jimmy.
Absolutely, and that's what you want to do. You want to get them down to I think he knows that Zoro is probably coming down.
Yeah.
If you can get them down to 1 or 0 life before they're able to establish that 9 drop.
Yep.
It kind of does shut them out of being able to play that because you just can't afford to be trying to survive with just 1 Don.
So I'm looking at Jimmy's hand, right? And it looks like he has a Vista. Is he just thinking now, do I just go for the Gordon and then the Vista and then get rid of the Nico Robin? Then my opponent's got nothing set up and he gets to then comfortably hold on to his cards on his field, which is what Zoro wants to do. It doesn't want to lose board advantage. We all know that Makino's probably going to die next turn regardless. And here we go, he's going to neg. He's going to play the Vista. He's going to get rid of the Nico Robin. I think that's an absolute fantastic play. Probably better than playing the Rush Zoro, even though it is 6k. Controlling your opponent's board as Whitebeard, and they're going to take their own life at the end of the turn. I don't think you're upset about that at all.
Yeah, and Vista can still comfortably be an attacker as well. And if Makino takes a hit here off a Whitebeard lead,
You're laughing.
Absolutely. Unless a Vista comes down to pop it for quote unquote free, for a 3 Don investment.
Yep.
But really, you want to be saving the attacks to be dealing damage to lead. You don't want to be putting these attacks into some of these lower cards.
And yeah, he's swinging 7 at Zoro.
Yeah.
Making sure that he can't use a 2k counter to kind of get out of there. And Jimmy just takes that life, no questions asked. And
that's the
promo Luffy.
So
from the film deck. Yep. You don't see many decks running that Luffy, but it is so valuable in the right deck, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. It just has such a great stat line, and Whitebeard doesn't necessarily mind it not having an effects. You just want to deal damage.
Exactly. You just want to swing. Just want to swing. Absolutely.
Looks like there might be 5 cards in hand for Whitebeard.
Yeah, 5
Very
or 6.
low hand for a Whitebeard player.
Yeah. 6. 6. He does have 6. But he's on 3 life already, and he's just got 1 Luffy on board, and yeah. Getting the 2k counters out of your opponent's hand is such a sign, but we know that Whitebeard has 15 to 20 2k counters in its deck naturally.
And just saving those event cards for later on, when you start having some more Don available.
Yeah. And yeah, the curly.
Yeah. Announcing maybe?
Oh yeah, so he has to grab the cards instead of looking at them first.
Okay, yeah.
Just making sure that he does it properly. Yeah. Again, high intensity match. You just want to make sure you do it all correctly.
Yeah, it's clear.
You're on stream. Exactly. We just need to make sure, obviously, that both players are following their own triggers and stuff like that, and the proper procedures, and just make it a clear understanding of what you're trying to do. So. And yeah, Vista going in for 6. He's got 2 done underneath, 1 under the leader.
Yeah. The more 6k swings that you can continue to get here, the better. Absolutely. You've seen how many 2k counters your opponent's willing to commit to get out of these attacks.
Exactly, and there's another one.
Yeah, exactly.
There's another one.
That's just so much value. And then another Brook for the following turn. If you're going to swing with this Luffy, I'm going to comfortably find a way to get rid of that.
Yep. And
bring it down to 3k.
He's got Makino now that's inactive. If you can't swing into it, if you want to KO it or pop it, then that's up to you. But the Gordon's on the field too now. Exactly. So
really finding a way to get value for some of these lower cost cards, and Stefan just not having a great way to comfortably remove them.
And this is kind of what we were just kind of discussing right before the game started, right? Zoro, amazing matchups into everything. It feels like there is no dead card in hand almost. Like, 90% of the cards that you find, and even when you're on turn 1, as long as you find the Nami Searcher, you're happy with that.
Yeah, there's so many options, like you said, to search as well, that it just brings a whole another level of consistency to the deck that One Piece in general doesn't necessarily have compared to some of the other card games. And just being so early on as well, being able to search those top 5 consistently, start taking out the pieces, and it leaves those other cards, like your rush and your event cards in the deck.
Yeah.
But with less cards in deck, you're more likely to find them.
Exactly. And, Jimmy obviously went second with Zoro and chose to play the Gordon and Makino both for 1.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like amazing play for him because even if he didn't have the searches, that Makino's still there.
Yeah.
And Gordon put in work.
Counters get out of the Luffy and the Whitebeard attack, and the Ace coming down. So down to 2 life on the Whitebeard. And I think Zoro's pretty comfortable in this position to start dealing some more damage. We've seen a number of 2K counters out of Whitebeard's hand already. And I think, still hovering around that 5 to 6 card mark in hand.
Yeah.
If we're getting more 6K swings here, you're either going to start being forced to take that damage, and only at 9 Don the following turn. So
correct.
If you're going to Whitebeard, you're going to be tapped out. It's just not a comfortable position to be in.
I mean, if Steven does have the Whitebeard next turn, he does have the Ace and the Luffy so far on the field. We'll obviously get to that at the end of the turn, but you're feeling okay dropping that 9 cost down because you do have a couple of swings to go into and possibly dealing with the board, but Jimmy's just going to try and put as much pressure as he can on this turn, knowing that he might not be able to do much on the next turn.
Yeah, exactly. You just want to get his life down as low as possible here to put him in an awkward position to play that 9-drop. You play the 9-drop, you've got nothing to protect yourself.
Correct.
And if you've got 0 life, you are in a bad position.
I think Steven's just pretty much... I think Steven's got 3 cards. Yeah, it is 3.
I think none of them have counter power at this point.
I mean, his discard is 10 2Ks.
Yeah, I think we've got a Radical Beam, a Whitebeard SR, and don't remember the third card off the top of my head.
And I mean, yeah, Jimmy is feeling pretty comfortable now. He's used no Don investment just yet. There's 3 for the Rush Zoro, 6K into lead.
And the Rush Luffy, yeah.
Yeah, in Steven's hand, yeah.
Yeah. Fair to assume.
Oh, no, he's got the...
missed that,
yeah. But that still leaves 2 cards in your opponent's hand.
Yeah.
Now you don't even need to go for his life.
You still want to. You know that you don't want to give him an easy kind of position to play the Whitebeard SR and leave him at 2 life because he won't have to take 1 the following turn.
Yeah.
Then he's got a comfortable amount of life.
And he's got some big bodies on the board. Yeah, you're right.
Leader and a great field.
Yeah, you're right. So Jimmy has
running out of attackers at this point.
Yeah, he's got 4 Don up. Unless you had another Rush Luffy, you would obviously Rush Zoro. You'd probably play it now.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even probably think about it. Just go for another 6 and chip down. But you kind of see Jimmy's hand, right? And he's not really. He's got the Whitebeard SR. But he's trying to think now.
What's the best kind of...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I save my Don for next turn? Because I think he had...
Do I commit the Gordon now to try and remove, one of these pieces off the field?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going through it.
Yeah. Because, we're looking at Jimmy's life as well. He's on 2, right?
That could very quickly
That
down,
could easily... I mean, there's 3 swings next turn coming. Say he does the Whitebeard SR and it gives 2K to his leader as well. You have to figure out if keeping 4 Don open for your opponent's turn is more important than taking Steven down an extra life. And I think it is, because we did obviously see, I think it has a Radical Beam in hand.
But I mean, that does still give you 3 Don to play around with.
Yeah.
Red has such great event cards that cost so little,
and do so much.
Yeah, a 1-cost event card. Even as a jet pistol in hand, maybe he's
I thought I was seeing that as well.
Maybe
yeah,
he's considering the jet pistol to pop the Luffy Gordon to minus the Ace in it.
Well, I thought that if he maybe he uses the combo for he saves it for next turn to do the Whitebeard.
Yeah. So we do get 1 damage taken.
Yeah. And he's saying here
2 Don active.
Yeah. And what are we looking at next turn? We got 7 on Ace, we got 6 on Luffy, we've got 8 on lead once he plays the Newgate SR, which we all probably expect him to do. You have to get out of one of those attacks. But then if you do get out of one of those attacks, can you win on your next turn?
We could see some kind of, see if he's willing to take these 6k swings and perhaps the 7k ace swing and see the rush Luffy come down. Just to try and...
really put the pressure on there. You're not wrong.
How much Zoro leaves open.
Yep.
How defensive Whitebeard wants to be to the
there you go.
turn as well. Yeah.
Gordon's going to... It looked like he negged Ace. Yeah, and he's going to swing with Curly for the last 2 Don, bringing it to 5 into 4. And he lets it go.
Yeah, after that amount of 2k counters that you've seen come out of hand.
Yep. Well, now, even if he does play the Rush Luffy for 5, you just need to get out of one of these attacks.
Yep.
And that means that Steven takes his last life.
Yeah. Still at 9 Don as well. So, again, that Whitebeard SR will prevent you from taking that last life, but you have no Don available.
Correct.
And with a Radical Beam, a Rush Luffy, whatever that card is drawn for turn as well, and off the life.
Yeah.
Very limited options.
Yeah, swing with the vanilla, and this is going to dictate what Steven does here, right? If Jimmy takes it, he'll get this false sense of confidence, I guess, that he's kind of like, you know what? Maybe I can go for game this turn. But if Jimmy gets out of it, then Steven just kind of feels to himself, you know what? Then I think Whitebeard might be the better option for me. I'm not going to be able to win for game. I need to make sure that I defend for my turn. And Jimmy's kind of like trying to figure out now, okay, what have you got that's going to be able to...
Options?
Exactly.
You know that the 9 Don is available, so Whitebeard is
it's
definitely online.
It's online.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you haven't seen it kind of get revealed or dropped or anything like that, so chances are he's got it in hand.
And there you go. So Jimmy uses 2 cards to obviously get out of it, and he thinks straight away he's just like, I'm just going to use Whitebeard then.
Yep. Announcing the 2k.
Yep.
Which is a dice to indicate that as well.
Yep.
And an 8k swing into the life. Okay. So we've got a 8k base leader here.
Yep.
Which just such a heavy Don investment to try and deal some damage.
Absolutely. And there's not really a body on the board except for the Zoro Rush that benefits from the 1k Zoro to like even
comfortably without being
go for game.
A 4 or 5 Don investment.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
does have another Rush Zoro in hand as well.
Steven, I think, feels a little bit more comfortable than he did the previous turn.
Yeah, if you can get through this turn, then you're in a comfortable position. It really comes down to that kind of Don manipulation. This is only 7k on the Zoro.
Yeah, so is he just going to try and clear the board now and just... Oh, no, he's actually attaching. So he's going to 8, at least to make it in range of damage. And here's the thing. If Jimmy swings now for 8, before he attaches any more Don, and Steven takes it, the game's changed.
Yeah.
But... interesting that he's opting to put the other Don onto his Rush Zoro before seeing how the leader does.
I think it's just being cautious of any triggers that might come out if you choose to attack with the leader. If, for whatever reason, a Jet Pistol is revealed off that trigger, you don't have any Don on that Zoro.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's just a bit of a sequence thing when playing against red, is that you just don't know what's going to pop out of that trigger.
Yep.
And that can very easily change the
course of the game.
Really trying to find out what the best possible way is.
Yeah.
AK swing. Do you have any counters?
No. Straight doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows. He's just like done. Wow.
Straight to game 2.
Doesn't want to waste any more time.
Yeah. And that was a quick game anyway.
They're both red.
Yeah, 17 minutes is very comfortable. So you're at very little kind of pressure of going to time. Zoro takes a comfortable game 1, and now this will give Whitebeard the
chance
option
to go second.
To get in their kind of favoured position as well.
I think that's where it becomes... I was saying this yesterday on stream as well. I don't think I've ever seen a card game. Well, sorry, we've been playing DBS for years now. I don't think I've ever seen a deck that was like, I want to go second. Like that is my preferred. Like there are decks that you don't mind going second, but there's never really been a deck that's like, I thrive off going second. Like that is what I want to do. And we've seen, Smoker kind of wants to go second as well.
Kinemon will take second all day of the week.
Exactly. So it's like, it is interesting to see that we're only in set 2 and we're starting to already see like a difference in terms of the way that the game's balanced now.
Yeah, and I think that comes down to the mechanics of the game as well. When we compare it to other games where, get DBS for example, where you're both taking into that first turn with 1 energy, compared to One Piece where your turn 1, you have 2 Don available. If your plays kind of revolve around that 2 Don, then it benefits a lot more compared to some of these other card games. But, like we've said, Whitebeard, wanting to go second. On the backside of that, Zoro's comfortable going first as well.
Exactly. If he just finds a Nami Searcher on turn 1, he also feels happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're absolutely happy.
Yeah.
And depending on what you find from that Nami Searcher, it literally can, like, even propel you.
Yeah, exactly. Zoro benefits from going first or second in this position much more than Whitebeard.
Absolutely.
Just setting up here. How nice of you guys to give Butler the day off as well after his hard work in day 1.
Butler, if you're watching, thank you so much for day 1. We'll take it from here, mate.
Made it very hard.
And Jimmy's not out of the hot water yet. You take the game 1 and you do feel a little bit more comfortable and, your nerves settle a bit more because you've got that game kind of up your sleeve, but you're not out of the water just yet.
And again, speaking of, there you go.
Yeah.
Just plays a chopper for 1 and then passes turn. But speaking of that situation again, and wow, Steven, nothing to play with too. Again, Zoro has such a good time going first or second. I can't speak highly enough of how good Zoro is in today's meta. And it's a reason why the top 8 is full of red.
Yeah.
There is not one other colour in top 8 right now that is red. I mean, it was the choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and this is not to some people's surprise either. We've seen opted to use the radical beam earlier to get on this 8k attack.
Yeah. As Steven...
just not wanting to take that early damage. But as we were saying, like we've seen with the Asian meta as well, that's a couple of sets ahead of us, just how much Zoro did dominate the meta in set 2. It wasn't until set 3 that Whitebeard really started showing up in that meta. We've seen it just kind of take place here in set 2 once people figured out just how strong it can be.
And that's the thing too, right? I remember when Whitebeard got introduced and everyone was going crazy. It was just like 6k leader, 6 life. Like red is amazing, and then people started like realizing, they're just like, but wait till you see Zoro. Wait till you see what that new red package does with the old red package. And it's kind of crazy because we do see a lot of cards from like other colors really lock themselves to like certain leaders. Like, obviously Ivankov and all that kind of stuff really only works with the Ivankov leader. And then obviously, people are putting impul down,
Animal Kingdom cards.
But red really just like didn't restrict that. It almost feels like Newgate SR is better in Zoro than it is in the Newgate deck.
Just with how generic some of those cards can be. And this Frankie's going to be difficult to remove.
And Kingdu on the side of Jimmy as well, so both opting to play those big vanillas. Because we saw in the last game, the 16 game, how much it actually takes to get rid of big bodies on the board.
The investment that's just required.
The 2 Makinos, Otama was it?
Otama. Into a jet pistol.
Into a jet pistol. Like, it's 3 card investment to get rid of a big body on the board. Like, is it worth it? But it's just swinging at you for damage every turn.
What do you think of this position here, being into the Zoro's turn? You've got 2 pretty big attackers in the Frankie and the Rush Luffy. You've got ways to remove them with your your Kingju and your leader.
Yeah.
But the life is starting to get low.
Yeah.
Do you continue to commit with the game plan of trying to deal life? Or
honestly, I think what Jimmy is doing right now, you're happy with.
yeah, go for board and
Absolutely.
just get these cards out of hand.
So for one Don, Jimmy's going to be able to swing for 6. Going to swing for, I think, 8, is it? King do 7 and then +1, if I'm not mistaken. And you've committed nothing. You've shown nothing. You've committed nothing. You've got the Nami now that's going to search again for another card. And finds a Zoro Rush that's the 6k now. So another body that can go into the Luffy if he decides to play it that way. And yes, like again, Steven's going to take his own life after every turn. You dwindle down their hand.
Going into 7 Don
Exactly.
next turn as well.
Exactly.
Not like a whole lot of Don to play with.
Steven?
Yeah, Steven. I think he's on 5 at the moment.
No, he should be on 6 because he's got the one under the Luffy.
Yeah.
He went,
so going
he went
into
second.
8. Going into 8 still, you don't have a YBSR.
correct.
It's a lot of a commitment.
And there you go.
Yeah, wow. So that would have been an AK.
Oh, he plays another King Do and then he's just going to pass it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, you are happy with this. Knowing that you've still got the blocker available that is just sitting there, biding its time. I think this is definitely what you want to do as Jimmy. You've just now got rid of 3 to 4 cards out of Steven's hand. The board presence is very, very similar on both sides. And you're at 4 life. Oh, 3 life, sorry, if you're Jimmy. And Steven's going to be going down to 1.
Yeah. Again, you see the Don onto the Luffy just to kind of mitigate any jet pistols.
Yep.
This is definitely going into life.
Yeah, that's right. If he was going into a battle card, he wouldn't need to worry about it. And now Jimmy's hand is going to start getting dwindled down.
Yeah, just trying to protect and stay at that high life total.
Yep.
You can see the chopper.
Yeah, coming out, and
There it
absolutely,
is, yeah.
absolutely.
That turn 1 play coming in, what's this, 4 turns later?
Yep.
And another rush Luffy.
Yeah, and here's the thing now as well. He's going to get a 6k, a 7k, and I was about to say just before he started swinging with everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter staying at that high life total, right? You can dwindle that life so quickly in 1 turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now Steven's board is looking really nasty here. Like,
And such a low hand size for Steven. Is that 2 life or 1 life left?
Steven, I think, has 2 life still.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's on 1.
Yeah.
So I don't think. I mean, I say that, but Jimmy does have, I think, the Rush Zoro that he pulled out from the search. So Jimmy can actually try and go for game here if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But he's also got the option of, if I can't go for game, then I better deal with this board, because he's staring down 6, 6, 6, 7 next turn with no Don investment.
Yeah.
Quite scary.
Yeah.
And if he plays the Whitebeard SR, well, it's 8, 6, 6, 7.
Yeah, even if you just spread that Don throughout, being on 1 life with no blockers, that's enough almost there to go for game as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is a very tricky situation where you either commit to the game plan of I'm going to try and win this turn, but with 2 Don active and so many events available.
Yeah.
Or I go for board, and you're facing down the same problem as well. If Stefan can protect his board and not take any damage here, then you're in a comfortable position the following turn.
And he's just thinking about it now. Obviously, there's still 34 minutes. This is game number 2. No reason to rush. No reason to make a mistake. Like, you've just got to really.
This is where the decisions really start coming in.
Exactly. It doesn't come to just like, I'm going to go swing face and I'm just going to win the game.
Yeah.
It does come to, if I can't win on this turn, the clapback is way too strong.
If I put the wrong, amount of Don, the decisions is just too pivotal.
Yeah.
Too pivotal here.
You're playing for a top 4 spot. And yeah, Jimmy obviously sitting with a 1-game win. Probably feels like game 3 could be better for him. Yeah, he's just.
We could see a 9-drop Whitebeard SR.
I think he did have it in hand.
Yeah. I think that kind of does
indicate
signal
what.
it as well.
Yeah.
There's almost no other reason to not put the Don under the leader if you're going to be committing to dealing some kind of damage.
Multiple swing, yeah. And now, like, Steven actually comboing out of the first swing.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's kind of like, okay, that's not kind of what I wanted to happen here.
Yeah, I think the problem that you also have is if you swing with your other King Ju, both of those cards can easily be targeted and attacked.
Don't think he cares though. I think like on the next, I think Jimmy understands now that even if he swings with both King Doos and then leader, and then he plays the Whitebeard SR as an example, and Steven manages to even get out of, let's say, one of those attacks with like his battle cards being alive, he just goes for game next turn. I don't see Steven swinging into Jimmy's battle cards next turn if he still has the Frankie, the 2 Luffys, and the leader. I think that's what Jimmy's kind of like really tossing up now as well. He's kind of like, all right,
Yeah.
he defended my King Do swing. Do I just play my own SR, bring my leader to 7, and try to defend next turn?
Yeah.
And another 7k swing, and there you go.
Get the Radical Beam. That's +2.
Yep. Yeah. I think he's going to drop the Newgate SR here. Knows that he can't KO anything else. Knows that he can't do the damage, and there it is. You have to. But now if you can get at least one battle card off the field by swinging 7 with Zoro.
5 cards in hand.
3 for Steven. And this is a scary position for Jimmy.
Yep.
4 cards on field. All of them are... the Luffys do need one Don to actually be able to swing into Zoro. But 2 need to go through. 2 swings need to go through out of the 4 cards on the field.
With 10 Don available.
10 Don available. Oh, man.
So keeping that high life total again.
And here we go. I think if you're Steven here, you're very happy with how this turn is going to play out. And look at him.
Yeah.
He knows. He knows.
No jet pistols are going to be hitting these cards.
Yep. Goes for 8.
That might have been into the King Ju.
You reckon? Well, it had to be, right? Because it was only 1k combo.
It did look like he kind of pointed towards it, but I believe both of them are 7k anyway, because his leader's 7k as well.
Yeah, but Frankie's got 1 Don underneath.
Yeah.
Frankie's a 5/7, right? So he used the Nami to combo out, which made them both 8 if it was at lead. But then even King used 7 anyway.
Yeah.
So that... Oh, he still won anyway, but I think that was something to take note.
Okay.
Oh, 4 cost 6k, thank you. I thought it was 5/7, but the King is obviously the 5/7.
Yeah.
The Luffy's also 4/6.
Yeah.
Okay. And that ties us up. 1-1.
Yeah, I like that. They bluffed the whole time.
Steven taking that, and again, obviously...
Like, we thought they had all this counted, but realistically they had to
Going second, and it kind of looked like a rough start for Whitebeard, right? He put the 2 Don down, did nothing with it except for the next turn he obviously comboed out of taking that early damage.
Yeah. I think just this build just doesn't have that many kind of low cost searches and things like that to really utilize. Yeah,
I haven't seen a Curly. I didn't see a Nami.
Yeah.
He's definitely not running. He's definitely not running the I Love You event card.
Yeah, I don't think many Whitebeards opt to play that.
We've seen a couple yesterday on stream, but again, we're at the top tables now, so obviously they've probably been weeded out. But you seem right. Like it's a lot more of those high end cards or the 2k combos, just to get to that point that you're going for game. And I mean, when you're Jimmy and you're staring down 2 Rush Luffys, the Frankie, and your leader is a natural 6k. What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah. And like we said at the beginning of, at the end of game 1, your nerves are settled and things like that.
Absolutely.
Now Steven kind of takes that position.
He's a bit more confident now, right? He's the one that won last.
Yeah, it's such a momentum swing in which, you got the position to take that 1-1, and now this is for all the marbles.
Yeah, this game right here is going to determine who makes it into top 4. And can Whitebeard overcome that turn 1? And, you said it yourself, the way that he's built the deck, he doesn't play the low-cost searches.
Yeah.
No Nami, no Chopper. So it's kind of like he knows that if he does go first, which is inevitable in some
he does
matchups...
have the Nami in hand. Steven's got the Nami in hand this time, so maybe he just hasn't seen it for the last 2 games.
Well, we haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I mean, now he feels even better.
Yeah.
Now he feels great here.
A bit more of a comfortable position. Plus, going first as well does mean that he has
The Whitebeard online before.
It's a bit faster. Your curve is, ace into Whitebeard and things like that. So
Yeah.
a little bit more comfortable, especially if you've got Rush Luffy available on 5 Don. And this is a bit more consistent than what we've seen in
Yeah,
game 1.
he's happy with this.
Yeah, of course.
If he finds a Brook here,
Or even some kind of
event,
Rush.
yeah, or even the Rush. It does have a Rush Luffy in there.
Yeah. Just deciding what he wants to grab here. Every little micro decision is
Absolutely.
so pivotal.
Absolutely.
You just don't know what kind of card you're going to need 3 turns from now.
Yep, and that's
you
what-
grab the 1K instead of the 2K.
Yeah.
It all kind of matters.
And Steven's literally looking at his hand thinking to himself, all right, I'm going first, which means that I can get the 5 cost Rush Luffy out, turn 3. Yeah, exactly.
find
Exactly.
And that's where the decisions, it really comes down, what your turns are going to look like 2 turns from now. Basically.
Exactly. Yep. You don't get to, there's only so many searches that you have
Yeah.
where you can kind of like decide so early on
Yeah, and fix
what is
your
my
hand.
game plan later on. Yeah. And what are you going to get from life, right? Steven's naturally going to draw 1 life at the end of every turn. What is going to come from it? And 2 Sunnykuns from Zoro here.
If you are any other deck, staring down a turn 1 2 Sunnykuns, you're not sitting pretty. Just being able to get these cards so easily to 5k, which against any other leader just deals so much damage.
Yep.
But a Robin is a great way to answer that.
Absolutely.
This is a very comfortable curve for Whitebeard.
I was about to say
Nami, Robin, Luffy, Ace, Whitebeard.
Yeah. You're sitting pretty here, and even Jimmy, like obviously having the 2 Sunnykuns, it is a little bit more of an investment to kind of like get these guys online than it normally would. Like you said, obviously, any other deck would look at it and be like, "Oh, come on, man! Like seriously, for 3 Don, you're going to be able to swing 3 times."
And I faced that yesterday, and it is not fun.
Nah. That's why the card is so expensive. Even though it was like literally a promo in the Utah deck, it's like I think it's like $20 for each Sunnykun or something like
I
that.
think so, yeah.
Insane. It's just a 1 cost 3k.
It just gets so much value off this Zoro leader.
And then you can search with it with Nami, and it's just like, it's crazy. But
I believe a lot of the searches can grab this card as well. There's a search that can grab a 1 cost. The Kelly, I believe that one is.
is Curly the 1 cost? I thought that was the Whitebeard search. I think you're right.
Makino boost up
the one without the Don. Yeah, and I mean that's still a big investment from the hand for Steven, right?
Yeah,
to
but
get
now
out of
Nami
both.
can clear up some of these cards as well.
Yep.
So very easy way to clear this board without even having to commit a leader swing.
1 Don on Nico Robin, getting rid of 2. Nami going to get rid of the Makino. Oh wow.
And then leader can comfortably swing in.
Yep.
And
Does
we'll
have the
probably
combo.
see a skillless Luffy come down. Or a Frankie. Okay. Comfortable board for Whitebeard here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the start of the turn, it's always instant, right? You put the 1 Don under the Zoro lead. It just sets you up to understand what you're doing for the rest, and
Committing to pushing in for damage here.
absolutely.
Just ignoring that Robin.
Well, you got nothing else on the board right now, right? So you're feeling like you feel comfortable.
With so many of these low cost cards that you want to get value with later on, they just get easily removed.
And here's a Rush Zoro.
Yeah.
It's currently at
This is
8k
swing.
at lead, and again, this is that position where like 8 into your 6, you have to get rid of 2 cards. Is it worth it? Probably not.
Yeah.
And you'll start seeing like the higher end tables and the more seasoned players will really make sure that they swing at you with awkward numbers.
Yeah. And even, to that merit as well, the more experienced players know when it's worth to drop those 2 cards.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of the real skill level difference as well, is knowing when it is awkward. I can't afford to take this damage here. It's more valuable for me to drop the 2 cards because I know what's coming and I know that later on I'm not going to be able to get out of that attack.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what
agree.
separates the players that are able to make it to this top 16, top 8, and so forth.
Yep.
Against the people that just can't get there.
Yep.
Like myself.
That's why we're here. We can analyze and say everything that we need to say now, but when it comes to game time decisions, we aren't there.
Looks like there might just be some
I was
discussion.
going to say, what's going on here? It is Steven's turn.
Yep.
Hasn't opted any Don or any swings.
Yeah, it looks like they're just
Talking about
conversing.
something, yeah, because Steven's still got his hand down, upside down, so...
All right, here we go. Straight back into the action.
Straight back in. Yeah, Steven's
time
just like,
wasted.
okay, cool, let's
just
go
turn
back.
everything sideways.
And yeah, he's swinging with the Frankie now. It looks like he was going into the battle card. Yeah, he's just
Yeah,
dealing
trying
with
to
it.
get rid of the
2
Zoro.
cards and the Zoro off the field for 1 Don investment.
Yeah, and you've still got your field.
And there's a Rush Luffy.
Yeah, and now we can start dealing the damage. We've removed the threat. We've kept
Dwindled the hand size. And now
2 life for Whitebeard.
2... It is... Yeah, it's 2 life for Whitebeard and it is still 3 for Jimmy.
Yeah.
But you're staring down a field of red.
And 1 Don again onto that Robin, and pretty much
Anything
75% of those cards can deal damage.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see if Jimmy does want to start going for...
I think it's just too little too late to try and start clearing this board.
Yeah. Rush Zoro.
With the amount of counter power that Whitebeard has, they can easily protect that field. And we're just seeing it protecting the life.
He was swinging into the Luffy rush.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And then, just Steven knowing...
I mean, it's all the same anyway. Both of them are 6k, so whether you want to protect the life or protect the Luffy, it is still 1 card.
And now, Jimmy realizing that he's probably just going to protect his board as much as he can.
Yeah, and this is where the events really come into it.
He did top deck a Whitebeard SR. He did top a Whitebeard SR. I think Steven can play this now. I'm pretty sure that's 9 Don for him.
He's got no life.
He did start.
Though.
Yeah, he did start first.
You don't want to tap out, and then you're relying on your counter to get out of a 15k attack.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, you are right. Because he's on 0 life here. So if he just does add 10 Don under his leader next turn, Jimmy will just be able to take that.
Unless you had some crazy combination of 2k counters in hand.
Well, the question is now, obviously Jimmy's got 3 life.
Yeah.
And he's going to use the Nico Robin, go into the first Zoro. He's going to use the Frankie to go into the second Zoro. But if you're Jimmy, you don't care about your battle cards being swung into. Obviously, Steven doesn't want to kind of give him that advantage. He's not going for game here. But
the cards in hand are just too valuable to try and protect those Zoros on the field.
Yeah, and Jimmy's kept his life total up very high. But Steven has about 6 or 7 cards in hand. So there is the possibility he might still be able to get out of this 15k swing.
Well, we've already committed some Don, so there's no
I mean, as in
coming down.
Yeah, exactly. If Jimmy does decide to go slap 10 onto the leader,
just to swing it anyway,
he may be able to get out of this. And look, even Nami's going into lead now. So,
I mean, when you have a combination of radical beams and guard points, that 2 radical beams. Oh, okay.
I'm not understanding.
He must know that he can get.
He must feel like
that I can get to 16k.
Or he's bluffing it, right? Because now Jimmy's trying to do the calculations. He's like, if I just slap 10 onto Zoro, which he is,
he's going to
15k.
And
wow, instant tap. There's 10, the 4k, 10, 12, 14, 16, done. Yeah, GG. Yeah. Wow.
So he just knew that I can get to 16. There's no combination of attacks.
Wow.
That can get you out. Yeah. That's the power of Whitebeard just being able to continue to keep their board alive.
Yeah, and Jimmy had no other option, right?
Yeah.
He had to put the 10 on, go for the 15k swing, and he's literally saying to himself, if you have it, you have it.
Yeah, there's just no way to deal with that board at that point. You've lost a lot of your rush. And those cards were 6 and 7Ks. They're just such a big Don investment to remove them.
Yeah. And again, we did say, like, you leave yourself at a high live total, which was 3, and then it went down to 2, and then instantly straight down to 0.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, it's like too bad, so sad. And, it was such a big difference from game 1, where Whitebeard looked like it really struggled to even get anything going.
Yeah.
Going down 0-1, coming back to 1-all, going second, and then on the third game finding that Nami searcher and feeling like
a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, he had the perfect curve. He was just like, I've got something to play on every turn, and he just went from there. So congratulations,
Stefan
Stephen on that one. But yeah, we're gonna. That's it from top 8. I think top 4 will be. Oh, I mean, don't think, but top 4 will definitely be next. There's only about 15 to 20 minutes left in the round as well, so we should start seeing it come soon.
All red decks, so I think
red.
this will be very comfortably moving into top 4 very soon.
Yeah, but guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Obviously, for the top 16, we've got top 4 coming in very shortly. Top 16 deck lists will actually be up on our Facebook page, and I'll try and get them done for you tomorrow with visuals. So if you want to check them out, it will be on the Double Sleeve Facebook page. But don't forget, you can find all the VODs on TAC's YouTube page as well. That will be up in the coming week as well. So if you missed any games, you don't want the spoilers, or you're going to go to work later on, or depending on your time zone, you'll be able to catch all of them on their YouTube channel as well. So thank you so much, guys. Don't go too far away, because we'll be back with a top 4 game in the next couple of minutes.